because we've got Mark's review of the Texas Chain Saw Massacre just gone live on the site yesterday. Was it today?
Today,
yes,
I think.
Today.
No, I can't remember. No, maybe it
was
today.
one of the days of this month.
A day ending in Y.
Anyway, the second site. Oh my goodness, how gifted are we to have them as a ongoing boutique label at the moment? Boy, oh boy. Ooh. Tell us about the restoration that they've done on the Texas Chain Saw Massacre, Mark.
So the Texas Chain Saw Massacre, I won't bother about the film. Apparently, my one comment about slight pacing issues and the score of 9 out of 10 apparently renders me any other opinion I may have invalid, according to lots of their internet play. So we won't talk about the film. What we will talk about is the set. Now, in terms of starting with the film disc itself, Texas Chain Saw Massacre has had a 4K release elsewhere. Turbine in Germany have released it. I think it was towards the back end of last year. Now, in terms of comparison to this release, Second Sight have used the same source, the same 4K restoration that was done, I believe, in 2016 by the rights holder that was used for the Turbine release. However, the Turbine release literally just took that restoration and stuck it on the disc. Second Sight have taken it, and as described in their marketing materials, they have done additional restoration work. Now, Christ knows what that is. Who knows? But they have done additional work to it. So I think someone had put in the thread, if you've got the Turbine edition, is this going to look any different? I think the answer is yes, it will. But I've not seen the Turbine edition until it starts to get out into the wild. And of course, this isn't released until a week today. Until people who have both, have seen both, or sites like Capsaholic start to put caps up of both, we won't know the extent of the difference. However, back to the Second Sight release. We've seen, and we've probably been spoiled a little bit with some really good 16mm 4K releases.
Dog Soldiers.
Stuff 10 out of 10. Dog Soldiers, absolutely. We could, head over to Arrow. They've done Henry Portrait, the serial killer. They've done The Hills Have Eyes. We know actually that 16mm can look really good.
Absolutely.
However, I've never seen 16mm look as good as this film does. It is stunning what they can get out of a 16mm source material these days. It's a native 4K. It's got both flavors of HDR on there. It's theatrically accurate, aspect ratio 1.85 to 1. In essence, there's probably a 10-minute slice of the film, slap bang in the middle of it, as the kids are wandering up to the Sawyer house. The sun is starting to set. You've got that glorious afternoon sky. And in the space of about 10 minutes, you've got scenes that pretty much sum up perfectly how good this restoration is. In terms of fine detail, you've got a scene with one of the kids peering through the gauze of the screen door, and you can pick out the detail in each individual slat or square in this gauze is unbelievable. You've got kids walking past diesel engines that are I'm talking the brightest red you've probably ever seen. The primary colors leap off the screen, but it also deals with skin tones absolutely perfectly. There's a scene where I think it's Kim gets off the swing seat in the garden as she walks up to the house, and you can see the sweat glisten, the different shades. You can even see the little slap marks on the back of the thighs where the seat has made an imprint. You've got all that sort of complexity of the skin tones, but then sort of even the HDR gets its own time to shine. As I think is it Kirk? He's walking up to the house, and as he's walking, the branches of the tree sort of flash in front of the sun, and so you go from bright, intense sunshine, plunged instantly back into shadow, and back again really quickly. But the picture just keeps up in terms of those changes of brightness, contrast, and color. It's absolutely amazing. It isn't perfect. As night sets and we've got Sally and her brother sort of hanging around the truck, waiting for the friends to come back. There's a scene where there's some damage, some dust and debris is still very noticeable in a shot of the moon. As the van leaves the gas station on the way up to the house halfway through the first act, there's some really faint vertical lines that are really apparent in the sky above them. So there's a little bit of very, very low level print damage. I know we were chastised for calling it print damage because it's not damage to the print, but that's the nomenclature. So it's not exactly perfect, but my word, it looks absolutely amazing, and it is without a doubt. I haven't seen the Turbine edition, but I cannot imagine it looking as good as this. It's beautiful. However, I was kind of expecting that. What I wasn't expecting was the new Atmos track. Now, yeah, like everyone did, it was a mono source, and suddenly you've got 11 speakers now coming off a mono, and you just go, well, this can't be right. And so I just ignored it. Purists went straight for the mono track to begin with. And yep, the mono was clean, it was crisp, it had decent fidelity. And over the opening credits, you've got that really alien sound, those sound effects of like the flash bulb going and the kind of, I wouldn't even do it, but you know what I mean. And at that point, I thought, you know what? I'll just humor the Atmos track for the review. And I put it on, and I didn't turn it off. Honestly, what it did, the strange thing about the Texas Chain Saw Massacre is the score always sounded completely disconnected to everything else. There's nothing atmospheric. There's nothing organic sounding about it. It sounded like it was not part of this thing, and that added to part of the really grimy and grotty atmosphere of all. But what it means is when you can spread that sort of dissonant atonal sound across all the speakers, it works because it doesn't sound as forced as other, more orchestral, more traditional kind of musical tracks have done. But not just that. It even had some fun with some of the sound effects as well. We got some great overhead sounds, when the hitchhiker goes upstairs to go and bring Grandpa down for dinner. Whoa, he's running around outside you. The first time when Leatherface starts chasing Sally, you talk about a bass drop. There are some insane bass drops on this, which obviously weren't there, have been completely added in, and you could argue have no place in it. But it's all kinds of hella fun. And there was just a couple of instances where there was some strange, there's got to be some side effects of basically splitting a single track into all these different speakers. There was a couple of instances where some of the vocals, some of the sound effects had a strange echo to them, which you thought, hey, up, someone's not tweaked the knob in the sound mixer there. But they were literally blink and you'll miss some kind of things. But overall, I was incredibly impressed with the Atmos track on this. So for anyone who gets it and goes, I'm not going to give that a go, give it a go. And then finally the extras. Now, I think what's so amazing here is, to cut a long story short, you have 5 audio commentaries. You have 3 feature-length making-ofs, one of which is brand new. And then if you add up all the other bits and pieces, interviews, a TV show episode, Horror's Hallowed Ground, you've got interviews with Hooper and Henkel and one of the actresses, and 25 minutes deleted scenes. If you add up all that, you've still got at least another 3 hours worth of stuff on top of those 3 feature-length making-ofs. It is insane how much stuff is in here. Obviously, there's a little bit of overlap, but what's really good about the brand new making-of is it's an appreciation of the film by filmmakers, writers, and academics. It isn't repeating the making of stories. We've heard all those, and there's plenty of them elsewhere on the disc, but it's a really fun listen to people fawning over the film, explaining how it influenced their careers. You've got the likes of Mick Garris in there, you've got Fede Alvarez, you've got a whole host of people in there, and it's just a really lovely listen, but it gives you that contextual view of the film that's so often making if you want to focus just on, well, on this day, we went to this place and we shot this and someone fell over and it was really funny. And then the film came out. Thank you. So, in terms of the on-disc extras, it's probably the the most stacked set we are going to get this year for a single film. It's immense. And that is, of course, all the other stuff that comes with it, which we haven't got yet because I've only got the check disc. But the 190-page book in it, which I can't wait to tuck into as well, you know. And Tom, your favorite, there's potentially 9 art cards.
Oh, there's 3 extras if you pre-ordered it.
Yes.
More
So
art cards.
I know we know you're a fan of art cards. So to cut a long story short, if there is a better release than this at the end of this year, I will be amazed. It is a stunning set. I think this outdoes their Dawn of the Dead set, if I'm honest.
Wow.
And that's saying something. So if you have not ordered this, get on it. Now, the one good thing about Second Sight is their standard editions. You only lose the off-disc extras. All that stuff we've talked about, the 5 audio commentaries, all those features, they're all on the standard edition. If you can't get hold of the limited edition, make sure you get hold of that, because this is going to be the release of the year.